Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another PGR reaction. Today we have Polymerized Mother Structure, which just kind of sounds like an insult, you mother structure. Either way, this is a request from Flamebolt in the comments of the last video, and I do know that there's actually some new stuff that's been dropping for more recent things from PGR, so when those songs start coming out, maybe we'll have some new content to check out, but for now, I'll just do this one, because by the time I get to next week, maybe those will start to release. Either way, let's go! I suppose it is a boss theme. You start with the tension. I also think this is about 8 minutes long, so that's going to be a pretty lengthy one. It's not too often we get like super long tracks like that for PGR. There's something that seems weirdly familiar about this one. Like this pattern, the sound design of it. I don't think I've heard this one. Unless it played in the game, the part that I've played. But I don't think it would have happened yet, you know? Like, I didn't get that far in. It might just sound familiar. Maybe it was the pattern, because that last section did not sound familiar. The way they broke it up was more unique than what my brain is somehow recalling. I love these little accents. They're like doo-doo-doo. Like, those are really neat. I love that additional little like dissonance kind of left in the background. Kind of pressing into the subtlety of it all. And like that screeching sort of synth. I've always liked that one when it's used well. I suppose the next question will be, does this build into anything? Or is it more like a 4-minute song that's played twice, and that's why it's 8 minutes? Because, like, so far, I'm not hearing much of an evolution in it, but that doesn't mean there won't be one. But for a lot of these themes, that's expected. They're... Oh. Oh. I was gonna say, for a lot of these themes, it's expected to loop like that and just kind of last forever. Now we got like a phase 2 or something? Okay. The cello is a very nice addition. Hanging on the emotion a little bit more. A little bit more dramatic now. A classic approach for a boss theme. You start subtle or just 100%, and then you start to introduce more emotional beats. Kind of adds a new perspective. And if you're gonna sit on a fat beat, I mean... Ooh. Nice low-end bass there. Like deep in the chest sort of sub-bass feel. Ooh, the slide in that voice. Just a minuscule detuning happening there. I absolutely love those moments where they keep the tension in by doing something kind of weird like that. It's like a gentle tap on the shoulder that there's still something going on right now. And now I'm wondering if there's going to be a phase 3. Because I really don't know how long I've been listening to these at this point. Maybe 5 to 6 minutes? So like there's still room, you know? I'm okay sitting here with this fat beat again. God, I love that. Okay. I feel like we've been here long enough that they wouldn't be able to do another section. You know? So I think we're gonna end on this. Just a 2-phase. Maybe some sort of an outro, but... Oh, nope, there it goes. Okay, so I was kind of right on guessing at the time there. Okay, hell yeah! Okay, so like many songs, and I've brought this up with a lot of PGR songs before, it's electronic, so it doesn't tend to really get too deep into the music theory sort of things, but that's totally fine. It just makes it easier for me to explain what's going on. So what I find interesting about this song, just aside from the sound design, we'll kind of get to that, chord progression wise though, the first song is kind of this back and forth between D and I think E flat minor. It might be just regular E flat though. It could be like that. That feels very nice, but I feel like there's that note in there for the E flat minor. This F sharp is there, and I think that does have like an F sharp in there. Like it's just all within that resonant body, so I wouldn't be shocked in either case because that is still present there obviously in the D. So it's like, all right, you know, let's just utilize that, but I think they kind of lean into this flat minor too, just to add a little bit more of that tension. But that changes for the second song. And it changes in a very significant way. So we do kind of still use that D, but we don't really sit on the D part of it. We go into D minor. That becomes our new relative root, so to speak, in this song. And the chord progression is so much more complex compared to that first one. The first one was like literally just that back and forth relationship. But for this, we do D minor, B flat, G minor, A. And that's our chord progression for that one. It does bop around a little bit in there. We do have like a C potential as well. So like there's just a lot more movement going on with this next part. And I think that tracks with the whole emotional build that part was doing. So the first part was just kind of general energy, going at it full force, keeping things simple because it's basically unga bunga hit with stick. You're starting the fight. Everything is just like tensions are high, emotions are not quite there yet. But then once shit starts to kind of get real and we start to introduce those emotional factors to the song, the entire song changes. We don't sit on the D and have that E flat minor situation going on there. We now are in D minor and we drop into an actual progression that has a very heavy emotional lift. Like it's a big one. D, we drop, we go down even further, and then we lift just a little bit more. So there's that hope at the end of the song there. And that's what makes these chord progressions matter, how they're structured. Like if you were to take those exact same chords and change them around a little bit, you could get this, which is a very different feel and emotionally a completely different story. So having it be specifically in this progression of like dropping down into the G minor and up to the A and just having that one note be the one note lift, we're going down casually and then a slight boost up. If we were to do something like I showed earlier, the whole relationship of that going, we now land on more of a tension than we do an emotional upset. We have something that feels like it's kind of dropping into, okay, there's still tension in the energy of the song, but it doesn't have this emotional hope that happens when we lift up from the G minor to the A. Coming down from the B flat to the A makes it feel a little bit more like the end of a sentence compared to the other one, which feels more like a comma comparatively. So that's the sort of emotional difference that we get between, especially the first part of this song, or I guess songs, because they're definitely different. But that's what happens. You start with one energy, and a lot of the time it is that unga bunga hit with stick, we're the boss, try to beat us, fuck you, just a lot of anger tends to be the starting point for most boss battles in pretty much every game I've seen, albeit there are exceptions out there, of course, and some just jump straight to the emotion, but then they end up on such a more sour note. Like when you start with the emotion, you start there, you need to have more growth through the song. Sometimes that is breaking down and becoming more angry. It goes the opposite direction and it gets more hectic, like they're flailing for that last attempt to beat you. And other times it gets more emotional. It gets more of that personal connection to it. That happens a lot when the character themselves is somebody that you as the player, you as the character you're playing as, has a definitive relationship with that boss character. Especially that happens a lot. So things like Metroidvanias love to do that sort of thing where it's like you're related to them in some way, shape, or form. They know you on a very deep intrinsic level, way deeper than something like this, which feels more like we're starting at anger. There is an emotion that was built out of some reason. It could be a personal thing, but it could just be, I was told to fight you. And then they start lamenting, is this the right move? Did I mean to do this? That could also come from a personal standpoint as well. They're mad with you and then suddenly they're starting to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be as mad. Maybe I'm starting to understand through our interaction here that I'm in the wrong. So you have these sorts of emotional back and forths and a lot of options to pick out of. So you could start angry, you could start sad, and you have to either get worse or get better in order for the entire story to start making sense in whatever conclusion they're trying to build. So that's what this song is doing. That's why I wanted to explain all of that about this. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen other videos I've done and had seen me talk about this sort of thing before, but this is just a very good example of that, starting a little bit more angry, a little bit more hectic, and moving into something that is significantly more emotionally charged. And we don't really end on anything that feels super conclusive either. It doesn't leave you hanging like a lot of songs do, just like up on the tension. It does kind of come down from that and it softens a little bit. And I think the cello is a really big part of that. Like just the sound design of these, again, changing between the two versions. That's where I was like, I'm going to get into that later. That's where it comes into play. Having the difference in the choice of instruments is a huge boon for that sort of an emotional growth or disintegration, if you wanted to go that way. You need to have these sorts of things reflected using instruments that are traditionally or just creatively utilizing that sort of emotional knowledge. Like, we're used to hearing cellos be something that's serene or beautiful, and having an emotion attached to that tends to be sadness. It can be happiness, but a lot of the time that weight that comes with something like a cello is something that is emotionally heavy as well. And the first part of the song didn't have any of that really. It was all electronic. So that removes that. It makes it feel a little bit more cold, a lot less emotional. And then we get all this. And then when it ends at the very end of it, it feels like things are taking kind of like the final deep breath. Like we're all done. We're walking away. Things are kind of happening, but we're not quite there yet. And I assume that that would go into like a cut scene or something that would just trail off into that we don't have, obviously. So regardless of whatever the case may be, this is a beautiful song, and I like having these examples, these great examples of how to focus yourself when making music in order to make those sorts of things work. But I have been yapping about this one for a lot longer than I planned, so I will end it here. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this and you want me to get to something else from PGR, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you don't want to do any of that, and maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!